Hello, hello. My name is Izzy and I am going to be your storytime reader today. I have 2 fall books. Halloween is 8 days away. Oh, so exciting. So I have my little skeleton friend here. He is going to be joining us. So the pillow that I have with us today is very fitting for these stories that we're going to be reading. I hope you guys are going to enjoy these as they are some of my favorites. So our first one is called Too Many Pumpkins. This is by Linda White and illustrated by Megan Lloyd. Pumpkins, pumpkins. Every year at springtime, Rebecca Estelle planted just enough seeds in her garden to grow vegetables for the long winter. She planted carrots, beans, pumpkins, tomatoes, and peas, corns, and rutabagas. She grew a little bit of everything except pumpkins. When she was a little girl, money had been scarce. For an entire month, there had been to eat was just pumpkins. Baked pumpkins, steamed pumpkins, boiled pumpkins, stewed pumpkins, mashed pumpkins, rotten pumpkins, breakfast pumpkins, lunch pumpkins, dinner pumpkins. Enough pumpkins. When things finally improved, there was more money to buy food. Rebecca Estelle decided she would never eat pumpkins again, or even look at one, not ever. And she didn't until... Have any of you ever ate pumpkins before? Maybe after this you'll want to, maybe you won't. One autumn day, long after Rebecca Estelle's hair had turned snowy white, she was raking the leaves that fell each fall from her back walnut tree, and her cat, Esmeralda, was scattering them just as quickly. All of a sudden, the pumpkin truck passed by. Oh, she heard it coming, and she knew what it was. It rumbled by at harvest time every year. She turned her back and concentrated on picking up the last fallen leaf. She managed to ignore the truck until... What's gonna happen? That picture is so beautiful. Splat! An enormous pumpkin tumbled off the truck and smashed into slimy orange smithereens all over the edge of her yard. "Come back here and get this pumpkin," she yelled, but the driver sped away. "Well, I won't touch it," Rebecca Estelle insisted, getting her shovel from the barn. "And I won't look at it," she added as she shoveled dirt on top of the pumpkin pieces. "I won't think about that pumpkin ever again," she declared. And she didn't until... Spring, when Rebecca Estelle was admiring the new sprouts in her garden, she noticed Esmeralda playing in some big green leaves growing at the edge of the yard. "How curious," she said, going over to inspect them. "I didn't plant anything there." Then Rebecca Estelle remembered the pumpkin truck and the slimy pumpkin smithereens. "Pumpkins!" she cried in disgust. "Come out of there, Esmeralda. I will not water those plants. I will not tend them. I will ignore them, and they will die." She picked up Esmeralda and stomped inside, but a week later, when Rebecca Estelle peered out her window, She saw the vines had grown. Oh no. She tramped to the barn, got her garden tools, and went to work on the pumpkin vines. She cut and dug until not one was left growing. There now. There will be no pumpkins, she smiled, and went back inside. But the next week, when she was weeding the garden, she noticed the pumpkin vines had grown back. Rebecca Estelle marched inside and snapped the curtain shut. The only thing to do is ignore them. They won't grow if I don't take care of them, she muttered. So rain or shine, all spring and summer, she never looked out the front window. She used the back door and never even glanced toward the vines. Neither did Esmeralda. Rebecca Estelle ignored the vines so well that in time she forgot why she wasn't using the front door. Until one autumn day when she and Esmeralda went to rake the leaves that fell each fall from the black walnut tree in front of the house. Do you guys have to rake leaves? Pumpkins, Rebecca Estelle shrieked. Pumpkin vines had twined under the bushes, over the bird bath, through the porch rails, and onto the rocking chair. The entire yard was a sea of plump, round pumpkins. Rebecca Estelle could no longer ignore them. She plopped down on the pumpkin nearest her, putting her hands over her face. Whatever will I do, Esmeralda? She cried. How will I get rid of so many pumpkins? She thought and she thought. Her mind went back to all the pumpkins she had eaten as a young girl, when pumpkins were the only food her family had. Look at all those pumpkins. Well, we can't let them stay here, she told Esmeralda. Some people might need these pumpkins. And I suppose there are folks crazy enough to like them. We'll give them away. She marched off to get her wheelbarrow. Rebecca Estelle struggled to lift the first pumpkin, then the second and the third. She huffed and she puffed as she wheeled the loaded wheelbarrow into the lane. I'm too tired to deliver these heavy pumpkins now, Rebecca Estelle grumbled. She mopped her brow with her apron and wondered what to do next. Perhaps if I make them into pies, they'll be easier to deliver. Such a nuisance. So she went to work. She scooped the slimy seeds out of the pumpkins and cut away the shells. After she boiled the pumpkin meat, she mixed it with eggs, milk, sugar, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves to make rich pies. Then Rebecca Estelle made pumpkin tarts, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin cakes, pumpkin bread, pumpkin pudding, pumpkin cookies, until... Pumpkin dishes spilled out of every cupboard, drawer, and cubbyhole, and the seeds were a mountain in the corner. Well, that's the first batch, Rebecca Estelle said, dusting her floury hands. Now to deliver them. She put the wheelbarrow outside the kitchen door and then loaded it with the pumpkin treats. When it was full, just the thought of delivering all those pumpkin dishes made Rebecca Estelle tired. If only people would come and get them, she said. Then she had an idea. Rebecca Estelle whirled around and hurried back into the house for a kitchen knife. This should get people to come, Rebecca Estelle cried. She took her knife and sat in the middle of the pumpkin patch. She carved a smiling face on a nice round pumpkin, a scary snaggletooth face on a tall, thin pumpkin, boo on a short, squat pumpkin. She was so busy carving pumpkins, she hardly noticed how dark it was getting. When she could no longer see, she went to the shelf on the back porch and got the sack of candles she kept for emergencies. If this doesn't get people to come here, we'll have to deliver them all ourselves, she muttered to Esmeralda. Look at all of her pumpkins, everybody. So many. Which one do you want? Rebecca Estelle peered into the darkness for a long time. She didn't see anything. Still, she watched until finally she saw a light. Faint at first, then brighter, and then more lights bobbing through the night. Here they come, she shouted. Esmeralda, let's heat some apple cider. They're all coming up the road there. Yeah, right there. And there they are. Oh, look at all the people. Young and old, everyone in town came. Rebecca Estelle, we thought you hated pumpkins, they said. We saw your jack-o'-lanterns from the end of the road and came for a closer look. I was hoping you would, said Rebecca Estelle. Where did you find all these pumpkins? People asked. I came by them quite by accident, Rebecca Estelle said, smiling. Would you like some pumpkin pie? There's plenty. She winked at Esmeralda. Everyone enjoyed the pumpkin pie and cider and had a good time. So did Rebecca Estelle. And when they were ready to go home, she made sure each carried a jack-o'-lantern, a bag of seeds for roasting, and a pumpkin treat. Rebecca Estelle gave away everything that reminded her of the pumpkins she had always hated until... How will our story end? All that remained was a handful of seeds. Those she tucked snugly onto her pocket, where they would be safe until planting time next spring. Yay, that is our story of Rebecca Estelle and Esmeralda the cat and all of their pumpkins. Now, if you guys enjoyed this story, you can check it out from our library. There's multiple copies available and it is perfect for this October season. So we have another story by the same author and illustrator. This is The Little Old Lady Who Is Not Afraid of Anything by Linda Williams, illustrated by Megan Lloyd. Yep, we have another pumpkin. Is it going to be the same characters? Who knows? That's what our title page looks like. Once upon a time, there was a little old lady who was not afraid of anything. I'm sure some of y'all are just as brave. I'm not. One windy afternoon, the little old lady left her cottage and went for a walk in the forest to collect her herbs and spices, nuts and seeds. She walked so long and so far that it started to get dark. There was only a sliver of moon shining through the night. The little old lady started to walk home. You should never walk alone at night. Suddenly she stopped. Right in the middle of the path were two big shoes. The shoes went clomp, clomp, A little further on, the little old lady stumbled into a pair of pants. The pants went wiggle, wiggle. "Get out of my way, you pair of pants. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady, and she walked on. But behind her, she could hear. Yes. Two shoes go clomp, clomp, and a pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. Further still, the little old lady bumped into a shirt, and the shirt went shake, shake. "Get out of my way, you silly shirt. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady, and on she walked. A little bit faster, but behind her she could hear. I hope you guys join along this time. Two shoes go plump, plump. One pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. And one shirt goes shake, shake. A little ways on, the little old lady came upon two white gloves and a tall black hat. And the gloves went clap, clap, and the hat went nod, nod. "Get out of my way, you two white gloves and you tall black hat. I'm not afraid of you," she said. And on she walked, just a little bit faster, but behind her she could hear. What could she hear? Two shoes go plump, plump. A pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. One shirt go shake, shake. Two gloves go clap, clap. And one hat go nod, nod. By now, the little old lady was walking at quite a fast pace. She was very near her cottage when she was startled by a very huge, very orange, very scary pumpkin head, and the head went. Getting a little scared, guys. Boo! Boo! This time, the little old lady did not stop to talk. She did not stop at all. She ran. But behind her, she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp. One pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. One shirt goes shake, shake. Two gloves go clap, clap. And a hat go nod, nod. And one scary pumpkin head go boo, boo. The little old lady did not look back. She ran as fast as she could and didn't stop to catch her breath until she was safe inside her cottage with the door locked. She sat in her chair by the fire and she rocked and rocked. It was so quiet in her cottage before the knock, knock on the door. Should she answer it? Well, she was not afraid of anything. So she went to the door and opened it. What do you think she saw? Tons of ideas. Two shoes go clomp, clomp. One pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. One shirt goes shake, shake. Two gloves go clap, clap. One hat go nod, nod. And one scary pumpkin head go boo, boo. I'm not afraid of you, said the little old lady bravely. What do you want anyway? We've come to scare you. You can't scare me, said the little old lady. Then what's to become of us? The pumpkin head suddenly looked unhappy. Oh no, she upset his feelings. I have an idea, said the little old lady. She whispered into the pumpkin's ear. The Pumpkinhead nodded, and his face seemed to brighten. The little old lady said goodnight and closed the door and whistled on her way to bed. Can you whistle? Good job. The next morning she woke up early and she went to the window and looked out into her garden. And what do you think she saw? 2 shoes go plump, plump. One pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. One shirt go shake, shake. 2 gloves go clap, clap. One hat go nod, nod. And one scary Pumpkinhead go boo, boo. Yep, it went boo, boo. And scare all the crows away. So what do you call that? Yeah, that's right, a scarecrow. And just like our book with Rebecca Estelle, you can check this out here at the library as well. There are plenty of copies. I'm sure all of you will be able to get one. We had digital and audio if you would prefer that path. It's such a nice Halloween read. I want to know what all you guys are being for Halloween. Let me know. I cannot wait to hear your responses. Bye guys, it was so nice getting to read to you today. And happy fall!